Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Okay, so I want to start off with the Sitwell and Selena Woo scene because this is one of those things where I feel like this is not the way that this scene is set up and the way that some of the story is going. This is going more of personal than necessarily um, story dictation in a sense. Sometimes these shows they will go into a certain direction, not necessarily because they want to, but most of the times because they have to, right? Carly's taking center stage more in this whole thing because, Michael got burnt and stuff like that. Was never probably supposed to happen. But this had a lot to do with mostly the fact that, Chad do want to leave the show, right? Take some time from the show and be able to write him back in. I mean, because when you really start to think about it, this guy got burned over like maybe 20, 40, whatever percent of his body, right? And while he does sit there and talk about the nerve damage and everything like that, I mean, this dude looked like he don't got a goddamn scratch on him. Like, nothing. Nothing. Even Ava had some sort of stuff on her, right? But again, this is mostly because the actor, wants to take some time away and they gave him the option if you want to come back. Now, you look at this whole thing with Selena, right? And the first thing he does when she walks in is like, look like you about to sit there and get ready to go to war with Sonny. It's like, what are you talking about? He explains, hey, listen, I got two of your people that set, fire to Charlie's. And Sonny's going to be sitting there coming after you. Now, Selena is like, well, I know Sonny for years, right? So what makes you think that I can't go to him and talk to him? Sid was like, well, yeah, but right now he's lusting for blood, given what just happened to his daughter. So, I don't think he's going to listen to you. I think what you should do at this point, you should just leave Port Charles. You should just leave Port Charles. Come back, after some time, if you want to come back. Now, let's think about Selena for a minute. How many times did people sit there and want her to come back? How many times did you sit there and think that this is the perfect time for her to come back? And how many times has those dreams dashed away? This was most likely dashed away because the actor wasn't available to come in. She wasn't available to come in for whatever odd reason, and that just was what it was. So I felt like, in a sense, that this was more like her way of saying goodbye to the show for now. Because we haven't seen this chick in like, about what? I feel like it's been like a couple of months, if not longer. Hell, there's been times where you want to sit there and see more scenes with her and Brad, and she just was not there, right? And so a lot of times, stories will go based off of the actor's availability. Hence, Lucky and his unwillingness to commit to the show. Lexi not always being scheduled or not always being available to do the show, which is why another reason why they had to sit there and go with a new Christina. So ultimately, she's not on the show probably for a little bit, and who knows how long. I guess she'll come back whenever she comes back. You got that going on. You got Marco pretty much telling the cops that he thinks that Sonny did it. You know, that she had evidence on Sonny that she was going to sit there and turn over, and Sonny wanted to make sure that that didn't happen, foul play. And of course, Lucas had to sit there and stop him when questioning by Anna, because he knew that she was going to sit there and leave town. He was like, "Whoa, why don't you sit there and take a beat? Go get checked out or whatever." Kind of sit there and save him from incriminating himself. And Sitwell, it came down there. There's a point where, you know, Lucas has to then tell Sitwell about Marco and Natalia. And, Marco's sitting there blaming himself because he's like, listen, while I was saving Christina, I could have sat there and saved my mom or whatever. He talks about the fire. There's a point where Sitwell looks like he's about to sit there and break down because, he did set that fire. And if things would have went left, you know, because of, well, his willingness to help and Christina being a basic idiot, Marco could have died because of his actions. So you got that going on. So that at this point, Anna's like, Sonny is a suspect. You got Brooklyn that has to sit there and tell Tracy about one of the clerical errors of Sonny having dirty money into deception, and now she's like, "See, I knew it." And you can feel she almost wants to sit there and say, "I want to sit there and say I told you so," so goddamn bad, but she did. But what she did do, she was like, listen, we should come clean and throw Sonny under the bus and kill two birds with one stone. Because Brooklyn's like, we should sit there and bury it, just hide it, and just hope that no one finds it. I kind of want to sit there and say maybe you should just tell the truth because if it does come out, that's your ass. That is your ass. Um, Brooklyn doesn't want to do that because Brooklyn's like, listen, if I take away Sonny, that's Gio's last family member that he can sit there and trust. And I don't want to do that to him. Jay's like, okay, fine, I'll be the bad guy. And that's when Chase comes in and tells him about Natalia's death, Christina almost being burnt alive, and Tracy being like, yep, that's it. Okay. Yeah, no, Gio's not going to have any more contact with Sonny. Gio is still, mad and upset and going through the motions and being like he wants to drop out of school because he doesn't want to he doesn't want to sit there and do the violin anymore. And that was a scholarship and everything like that. And, Emma Smith is saying, listen, why don't you put a pause in that? So just dropping out now, just take a beat and help me with this whole taking out Dalton thing. Now, Jocelyn tells Vaughn, which honestly, to tell you the truth, he was really only there for emotional support, which was a little kind of shocking because like they come across more like work relationship, not her venting that. But she also says the real reason, another more deepening meaning, why she joined the WSB is to take down Sonny. See, she went through this whole list of all the people that got affected because of Sonny, right? And the thing is, when I watched it yesterday, when I watched the trailer, I was like most people, I was like, here we go again. Jocelyn sitting there whining and bitching and complaining about Sonny, right? But the truth of the matter is, she ain't wrong, right? She is not wrong. All those people that got hurt or killed or some sort of way affected was because of Sonny. Now, it's not to sit there and say that he did it on purpose. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't mean for this stuff to happen, but just being around Sonny is enough to sit there and put a target on your back. And Christina right here is just the latest proof, one type of Michael being another casualty. So you know what? And a lot of and she's not wrong. That's the bottom line. She is not wrong. She ain't wrong. Regardless of her brattiness and her whining and everything like that, this is a case where she's not wrong. Um, and so yeah, she's like, yeah, maybe Dex might have been the catalyst, but ultimately it was about Sonny. And then they kiss with no one else being around there, which was really odd because everyone was there before. Anyway, long story short, Anna goes to Sonny and tells him about Natalia's death and questioning him because they got the footage of one of Sonny's guys walking away from the hotel before they got there. Now we know that Sonny didn't do it, but you know, Good luck proving that. I'm like, you better sit there and get Diane on speed dial. Um, Only thing I can sit there and say about the Alexis, Molly, and Christina part is that Christina doesn't blame Sonny. Even though she's like, listen, even if it could have been a turf war, she's not going to blame Sonny for what happened to her. I'm like, I don't know if that's loyalty or just like, you know, stupidity in a sense. Even with Michael, because I want you to sit there and think about this for a hot minute. This guy literally spent months in a burn unit because somebody tried to come at Sonny and he wanted to be in a casualty. And yesterday he spent there talking about this great love that he has for his father. And I'm just like, bro, you missed about months. You're still in agony. You are taking pain medications because of the damaged nerve cells in your body. Because you were too close to Sonny and you want to sit there and give this great heartfelt speech about how you love him. I just no, 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 fuck that. That's absolutely insane. And I just thought about that because Christina was like, I don't blame him. I'm like, I don't know if that's brainwashing or what, but like that is just nuts. Um, I feel like I kind of covered everything. Let me double check. Oh, I think I pretty much kind of covered almost everything, and it only took 2 pages to do it. Guess that was kind of a light day. Anyway, I feel like that's generally about it. That is the general gist of the episode. Now, of course, with General Hospital, when I was not there looking at it, I felt like there was a lot more. And so I feel like I'll probably miss some stuff. I will be sitting there talking about this again and anything else that I missed tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'll be sitting there talking about all 5 of the soap operas, even though Beyond the Gates is not on. We can talk about that as well as, the usual. Also, if you're not a member, make sure you join. I have some very fun ideas, classic clips or whatever to go through. I was sitting there thinking about kind of clips I had this weekend coming up, and they're going to be fun. I've never actually seen this stuff before, so we're going to be sitting there reacting to it together for the first time. If y'all saw it, you probably haven't saw it in a while. And if y'all didn't see it, well, you definitely sit there and see this stuff this weekend. That is a damn sure. So make sure you click on the description button and hit the join button and become a member. If I miss anything, you know what to do. Write in the comment section below. I really don't want to end it on 13. I just don't. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I'm just going to wait until it goes to 14. Alright, I'll see you in the next video and live stream tonight.